This is Creighton Rippey, Director of the Greater Detroit Community Outreach Center here in Detroit, Michigan, with another one of our weekly talks and insights into the area of giving and how this giving affects our lives. It forces us in terms of how do we behave. But as you may or may not be aware, over the last 4 or 5 weeks, we have been addressing our attention to something that is happening throughout this country, and that is the shootings and the killings of young black American males in the streets of America. Now, what we talked about in our last presentation was the issue of needing something to be done now. Although there are efforts by the Black Lives groups and other groups to try to deal with the sensitivity of the issue and what we need to do in the future to prevent this from happening, we were saying, and I'm saying, what needs to be done now is a degree of complete transparency. We ask that every police arrest in the streets of America every police officer has a camera, vest camera. Every car has a video cam so that the complete arrest is on video. That's the immediate solution to this problem. Do you think that if a police officer knew that everything is being taped and on tape from what he is doing, that he would shoot a person in the back if he knew everybody was watching? Do you think that a police officer would put his knee on somebody's neck and let them choke them to death? They suffocate them to death? No, I don't think so. So although there are long-range solutions, we asked, and we continuously ask, is that the vest cameras and the car cameras be a mandatory part. Not, well, we can do it if we get some money. No, this is a mandatory part of the arrest process. Now, sometimes when we look at or make statements, people say, well, that's fine, that's fine. But let me present something to you that happened since our last presentation. Well, according to Google, we have over 180,000 police precincts in the United States of America, according to Google. And of these 180,000 police precincts, each one has the obligation or the right to use street cams, car cams, vest cams. Now, what is the cost? Well, we found out, according to Google, that the cost of a vest cam and a car camera is about 1/3 of the cost of having a gun, tear gas, shields. And as a result of that, what they're simply showing is that it's 1/3 of the cost. 1/3 of the cost. So maybe we shouldn't use as many shields, guns, and that manner of reaching the public, as opposed to providing a sense of transparency, showing that they are doing their job the right way. You see, ladies and gentlemen, but there's something much deeper here that we're beginning to look. Since our last, I guess, 3 years or 2 or 3 years that we've been doing these presentations, you often wonder whether you're just doing it, is it having any impact? Well, I'll tell you a little something that happened last 7 or 8 days ago. In the last 7 or 8 days, four different police people from different areas of the country called us. First, they're trying to figure out, who are you? Who are you? What's your situation here? And I simply tried to explain to them who I was, and and my situation with regards to Greater Detroit regarding the prevention of first teen parenthood. and my frustrations with the shootings of black African American men in the streets of America. So after we got to talking, in each case, after we started talking, they called and they said, well, we're concerned too. We haven't had this particular problem. Now this is 4 out of 180,000 simply saying we haven't had this particular problem. But the idea of transparency is the one that we need to deal with regards to preventing this problem from happening. You see? Prevention of this problem happening. And as we talked, they talked about, and then they got hung up on a situation that we all do understand about this, and that is the politics of funding. The federal government says we got monies, but to get it, you might get it next year, or you get it right now. There's a big political thing going on, so you never know whether you get it or not. So after speaking with these, there was one thing that came to mind, and I think perhaps I never did it, but I really want to thank the Twitter people for affording us the opportunity to present our views to America. But most importantly, and I really want to thank you, because even though it was just 4, and I'm, as I explained, I'm not the person they should be talking to, we see that these presentations are having an impact. Because we're asking, we're saying, we're pleading to let you know that it's all about you and your actions. There had to be 4 people to call those police officers, those police departments, and they said there was, to make them to get up and to act. To get up and act, to do something to prevent this problem from happening. You see? Dealing with racist police officers, impetuous police officers. You see? But it took those individuals. It took you to call your individual police department, when one might say, well, why should I? Well, that's why you should. Because you have the knowledge. But when you act on that knowledge, you create change. And I must say, it helps us to see that it gives us the motivation to keep pushing, to keep fighting for what's right. And it doesn't take a picket line. It doesn't take a protest line. It takes common sense and determination. And if you have it, and I know for those people who are listening to me, you know what I'm talking about. That's something on the inside of you that won't allow you to just sit back and look. I got to stand up and I got to do my part. If my part is nothing more than just to call these police departments. I want a vest cam. I want a car cam to be used with my tax dollars. You see? You see? There's a chance. And when you have a chance, we can win. But it starts with you. It starts here and here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening and looking at this particular video. And hopefully you will see the need for transparency within the arrests made individuals in the streets of America. This is the right now solution, not the long range. This is the right now solution. And if you call, if you put your foot forward, there's a chance that every police department from now on, henceforth, never again is there an arrest where we're wondering what happened. The person never did make it to the police station. The person was beaten on the way to the police station. The person was shot. You see, those things won't happen when the transparency is first. Doesn't change the attitudes, perhaps, of those with underlying racist dispositions. Doesn't change that, but at least puts us in a situation where we can get those people who are being arrested to be treated with respect and dignity and given their due process. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for looking in. My name is Creighton Rippey. I am the director of the Greater Detroit Community Outreach Center here in Detroit, Michigan. You can reach us at 313-891-7030, or you can reach us on the World Wide Web at www.greaterdetroitoutreach.org. Thank you.